Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Travis, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can set up a free instant messaging server for your office. This is a wonderful solution for businesses of all sizes, so if you're a small business and you really don't have a lot of money into a full-fledged instant messaging server like Skype for Business or Link server, this is a perfect solution. It's cross-platform, it works anywhere really, depending on how you get things set up. So let's go ahead and kind of jump into things, and I'll show you how to get it all set up and running. So first, what you're going to want to do is go to igniterealtime.org. You're going to click on projects and go to Openfire. It uses the instant messaging protocol XAMPP XMPP, which is also known as Jabber. You're going to jump right into the downloads section here. And you're going to notice that we have Openfire 4.2.3 and Spark 2.8.3. Spark is the client that gets installed. Openfire is the actual server component. As you can see here, we have options for Windows, Linux, and Mac, which is great. So that means you can use this. Doesn't matter what kind of shop you are. You can easily integrate and use Openfire. So we're going to be installing this on a Windows server, but you can actually use an old desktop or an old laptop that can just remain online. So under Windows, you're going to notice that there are 4 different downloads. They recommend the 64-bit no Java JRE version. I actually recommend the 64-bit with the JRE. That's just because Java is one of those applications that is a pain to manage, and it's easier if you just use the version that ships with the program. That way it's guaranteed to work. Same thing with the Spark client itself. You're going to notice that there is just a regular offline installation, which includes the JRE, which is recommended. And then there's the online installation that does not include the JRE, so that means you would have to manually install the JRE on all your client computers. Can be a hassle, so if you just go with the online version, you're all set. Under Linux, we have RPM versions as well as a Debian version, and same thing with the client as well. And under Mac, it's just a single DMG file that you can download and install. All right, so that's enough about that. So let's go ahead and jump on over to our server here. You can see I actually downloaded this before, so that way we don't have to wait too much. So we're just going to go ahead and start this installation. All right, so we're going to go ahead and select English, and you'll notice that the installer is very simple. If you've ever set up Link or Skype for Business, you know the installer is a lot more painful than this. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and start the Openfire service. And this is going to launch a web page in your browser where we're going to finish up the setup. So in this case, our server is going to be in English. Here's where we set our domain. So in this case, the XAMPP domain, this is going to be probably what all your users would connect to. This should be a domain that you own, so you shouldn't be using a .local or .loc or something fake along those lines. So in my case, I'm just going to use the itcave.com. Oops, if I could spell. And then the server host name or fully qualified domain name, this is going to be the server name plus your XAMPP domain name. In my case, I'm just going to call this openfire.theitcave.com. You'll notice here that we have our admin console port. We are connected to that. And we have our secure admin console port, which is at 9091, which we're not currently connected to, but that's all right. That's because we haven't generated the certificates yet. So we're going to use Blowfish. And we have 2 options here. We can use a standard database connection, so we can use an external database, or we can use the embedded database. If you are a small shop, I would highly recommend using the embedded database. All right, and here we have another decision to make. So default is store users and groups in the server database. And if we had an Active Directory server or open ldap server, we would select the ldap protocol to allow users to log in. and everything would just be used through Active Directory or Open LDAP. But in this case, we're just going to stick with storing the users and groups in the database. And then the one thing that we want to do is make sure that we store only hashed passwords. If we don't check this box, we will actually be storing passwords in plain text, and that is not a good thing. And now we're going to create our admin account. In this case, it's just going to be the username admin. I'm going to leave the email address as is. I'm just going to put in a super secure admin password. And continue. All right, that's it. Now we can log in. And here we go. We have the overview of our server. We also have a few ports that we need to open. So one of the ports that we need to open is 5222, and that allows the clients to connect to the server, and all the messages will be relayed through the server. If we had more servers on our deployment, we would open up 5269, which is server to server communication. If we were using external components, we would open up these ports, and we're also going to open up 7777, which is our file transfer proxy. So to do that, we just open up our Windows firewall. So we'll go to inbound rules, and I actually have one set up here, but I'm going to modify it. So as you can see, I have Openfire TCP 5222 and 9091. That's our secure admin console because we want to be able to administer this across the network. So what I'm going to do is go to protocols and ports, and I'm also going to just add in 7777. Apply, OK, and we can get rid of that. So now let's add some users to our server. We have a lot of different options here, and there's a lot to just get into, so I'll just cover those a little bit later. But the main thing is we want to go to our users and groups. Actually, there's one thing I do want to mention. Under server settings and registration and login, you want to probably disable this, especially if you have it opened up to the internet. Otherwise, anybody would be able to find your server and register on it. And we'll save settings. One of the other things in here too is restricting logon. So if you have branch offices spread out around, you can actually put their IPs in here, and then anybody who's coming from that IP would actually be able to log in. So if an employee's at home or they're not connected to the VPN network, they won't be able to log in. But in our case, since this is just going to be internal only, I'm going to leave that blank, but that is there. So we're going to head over to users and groups, and you'll notice that we have our admin user. We're actually going to go to create new user and add a username. And I'm going to not give myself admin access. We're just going to keep the admin user for now. So I'm just going to create user. There we go. We can also modify different settings about this user. Let's actually create a group right now, and we'll create a new group and we'll call it IT department. Create group, and members of this group. We're actually just going to add the account that I created. There we go. And that's pretty much it for the server side. Let's go ahead and actually get logged in. So I'm on a Mac and I already downloaded the Spark DMG, so I'm just going to go ahead and open this and install the Spark application. All right, so I previously connected to it, so there's some residual information left over. But one of the things we want to do first is go to Advanced, and we want to check Accept all certificates, self-signed, expired, not trusted, and we want to disable certificate hostname verification. So if we check those two options right after a fresh install, we'll be able to connect. So once we do that, let's go ahead and type in my super secure password and click on login. And there you go. That's how you get Openfire server up and running. Now you can go back into the admin console, add in some users and some groups, get the client out to your users and get everybody connected. In future videos, I will show you some of the extended functionality of Openfire Server using plugins, which is really cool. And for those of you wondering how you can open this up to the world, all you got to do is just do some port forwarding in your firewall, get your DNS all set up, and you can allow your users to log in from home or on the road, same thing from their smartphones as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you ran into any problems or you have some questions about something or you're just not sure, feel free to leave a comment below and I will do my best to help you out. Please so go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I love producing tech videos and I hope to bring you even more. And don't forget to become a Patreon. The link is in the description below. Just by becoming a Patreon, you can help support this channel, help me grow out and get some pretty cool stuff to show you guys, because there's a lot of awesome tech out there and I really want to help you guys succeed and learn some new and awesome things. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I hope you have a wonderful day.